Hey, so Kevin, we're back.
We are back.
Where are we back from?
Now, do you know what? Many people don't know where Sierra Leone actually is. So, Sierra Leone, West Africa, next to Liberia, and it means Mountains of the Lion. So, Lion Mountains. But yeah, we came back from Sierra Leone. Statistically, it's one of the most impoverished countries in the world. And that's the main reason why we went there.
Yeah, it's been through a lot, from the civil war, Ebola, COVID, not having that healthcare, the infrastructure that we have here. Imagine having a toothache or a broken leg. Where do you go? You know, there isn't such thing as a medical facility there. And this is how we've come to love and be part of Better Lives Foundation, because this is what it provides. It provides a sustainable healthcare infrastructure for the people of Yonibana in Sierra Leone. That gives me hope.
I came across Better Lives Foundation through you. I was just blown away by how much Devi and Raj, the founders, have been able to achieve with the team, with the amazing volunteers they've been going for many years now. Yeah. And the whole point of this is to establish and improve healthcare for the people of Yonibana, which is a small town in Sierra Leone, isn't it? About, 2 or 3 hours from the capital, Freetown. Yeah. So yeah, I decided that I needed to go because, one of our dreams together was to do health camps and volunteer in other countries. And we've been to India, we've been to Prashanti, we've been helping out there. But I think the fact that there's almost a long-term vision for Better Lives Foundation in terms of establishing a sustainable dental hospital, to provide treatments for the people there. I think that's one of the things that made me think, maybe this is the place we do need to go. So I still remember how we found out, was it just a few weeks before we were going to go, that we didn't have enough equipment there.
Yeah.
Because I've been waiting on these forceps to arrive. And yeah, it's going to help treat so many people. But when you're just waiting for things to arrive at the last minute, and it's like make or break. It's one of those situations. So yes, I'm very happy.
Good. So we're ready?
We're ready.
Where are we going now?
So now we're off to our warehouse in Slough, where we're going to do all our packing for our dental trip, as you know, to Yonibana in Sierra Leone. Got to get the whole inventory down and just get all organized for our trip as we fly off on Thursday. So really excited.
Cool.
That's right. I mean, one of the beauties, I guess, when you go to any of these kind of medical dental camps, you have to think outside the box. Mm-hmm. Resources are always hard to come by. So, it's a military operation almost, isn't it? You really have to plan so that you can execute really well there. So yeah, when we found out how little we had, I'm glad to say I don't think we panicked. We were like, right, we've got to get some solutions in place, and we outreach to some fantastic colleagues that we know and charities that we know who do very similar work to what we do. And it's wonderful when you have a network.
Really good messages back and really amazing help for us. To Wilton House Dental Practice, to Keval and Sheena, to your practice, the Bupa Dental Care in Leighton Buzzard. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to them. I still remember the last piece of gauze that we used for the last patient. It was just enough, and that's when you realize that there's something out there, someone. I believe in divine intervention thing, and I was just amazed. Yeah, a big shout out to Dentaid, who do a lot of work in places like Uganda, Malawi, and in the UK. And we've always stayed in touch with like-minded charities like themselves, and when we outreach to them, and Henry Schein, all these great companies, they helped us with so many resources, which without them we would not have been able to achieve the work that we did. Every time I used something, I don't know about you, Kim, but every time I used a forcep I needed, or that last piece of gauze I was telling you about. It's those
Yeah.
people that come to mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we got there, well, how did we get there? First of all, when we had to figure out the route, it's not as simple as actually a little bit more simpler than what I remember, because last time I went, there was a ferry involved, there was a bus ride involved. But this time it's two flights, and yeah, quite nice and straightforward actually.
But you know what? I loved the fact that this particular airline allowed us 46 kilos each
That's right.
of
Yeah.
checked-in luggage, and that basically, the plan was always to put our personal items in our hand luggage, and then have the 46 kilos of just parcels, boxes full of equipment that we need, donated items, syringes, forceps, probes, everything that we needed
Yeah.
for our trip was all packed away. And it was just so nice to just pack so simply with just what we need to get through the 8 or 9 days that we went through, and everything else was for what the mission was, to go and help and serve.
Yeah, who knew we needed so little, right?
Yeah. So long plane ride. I mean, we had to change a couple of times, but no, we changed once.
And we landed. We're here in now Freetown.
And then the trip from the airport to Yonibana, even though it was tiring, the fact that we made it and it was sunrise and it was in the middle of pretty much nowhere, but it was in the middle of nature. And just to see the stars, and then the sunrise, and then going to this place where it was just we were surrounded by nothing but nature, was just so refreshing. The air was so clean, and just stepping out, we were so tired, but you know what, it was nice, and I was so happy to be there. Just being there, away from all of this.
The local language there is Timni. So we had our lovely, can I just tell you about our team first of all when we got there? So we had a handful of our team who are from Sierra Leone, who are either trained nurses or are staff there who are learning to be, nurses or within the healthcare, system, and integrating them. This is the beauty of Better Lives Foundation. So they provide training, right?
Yeah.
They provide that training, so they know the importance of patient care. That was always the forefront in our dental department, because we deal with a lot of anxious and nervous patients some of them never seen a dentist. And there's a lot of sort of witch doctors there who do dentistry but without local anesthetic, and I don't really want to think about it, but there is a stigma possibly attached to dentistry. And so it's really important for our team and to know how to alleviate that anxiety at the beginning. So we had such a great team who knew the value of compassion, and you could tell from the tone, even though we did not speak Timni, we could tell with the tone and the way the patient's facial expression and body language changes. And that was so nice to see. That was really, really nice, especially with the little ones. I think that for me was one of the hardest things, was seeing little ones who'd got used to the taste of what pus tastes like, what an abscess feels like. That's heartbreaking when that becomes the norm.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But just, going back, I love the structure that Devi and Raj have created there. The fact that, we landed there, and the first thing that Devi did midday is call the whole team. And we had that lovely meeting just outside our accommodation, where she went through all of these amazing team members at the hospital, asking them how it's going, what they have to report, what challenges they've faced. And for each one of them, collectively, she proposed the solutions. She taught them how to get better. They gave their own feedback. And it was just so lovely to see that. And yes, it's it's a learning curve for the whole team in terms of what roles they have. So firstly, you know, things like registration, pharmacy, triage, making sure all the drugs are there. And it's not just a dental unit there. We have a whole hospital.
Hi everyone, this is Yonibana. We're at the Yonibana Sai Hospital. It's 30 degrees today. Really scorching hot, and this is the hospital as you see it.
You know, we have a ward there. People have been coming in every single day with various ailments, illnesses, diseases, accidents, and the doctors on site have been treating them. The nurses on site have been treating them, and it's a 365-day free hospital providing free healthcare.
Yeah, 24 hours.
For the poorest people in that region.
Amazing.
And seriously, so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're going to be busy.
Today we're gonna be busy for the rest of the day.
Wow.
So here, as you can see, and again, not okay.
Good morning.
Here, because of the sitting accommodation, they just mixed. We have orders for the dental, whilst order for the general cases as well. So from here, they get over there for the triage. There we have to identify if you are general or if you are coming for tooth extraction as well. As you can see, another long queue because you know children are unable to identify what they are feeling, only they cry. So in the morning we fishing them so that we triage them first before ever we triage the adults. But for today we are going to triage the 2 children and also 2 dental cases. As we know, dental is very delicate because it is painful. So far so good. The process is ongoing this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is the fun bit, and we made sure that firstly we had to set up our room. So you know, we headed to the room that everything was kept in, and we called our team together. You know, the ones who were going to work with us, and it was just all cleaning, isn't it, for the next few hours, trying to set up the chairs, wiping, cleaning the whole room, making sure it was actually a functional room for people, for us to treat people to start with. But I thought, you know what, that was so much fun because there's teaching involved. You know, we went through infection control. We you know, made sure that we emphasized the importance of making sure that everything is kept sterile, everything is disinfected. We went through the whole process, and it was so nice. And everyone in our team over there, the volunteers, were so invested in it, in learning more and then being part of this. So I think that really helped.
What we thought we would do before we start is just get the ground rules of how we want to work so that when a patient comes in, you feel happy that if it was your mom or your dad, you gave them that treatment the way you would your own family members. Okay, so that's what we will do today. Kevin will go through, and we call this infection control. We say that because we want to eliminate and lower the risk of transmitting any infection from one patient to another, from us to ourselves, to the patient, and so forth. So really important. So Kevin will go through with us how we will make sure to do that. Then what we'll do is we'll do a little skit. We have a patient, what do we do?
It really helped that everyone was on board. So that first day was just all about getting ready.
We had challenges, didn't we? So water, one of the big challenges. So, you know, we use an autoclave. There we used a pressure cooker. We had a whole system of how we were disinfecting and the whole sterilization process of our instruments. But of course, when you have no water, you have to pause. Mm-hmm. You know, it really made me appreciate every single drop of water and how precious it was. You know, and you can see the wells ourselves of where the water is coming from. Mm-hmm. Here we switch on the tap and it's here. We totally take it for granted. Mm-hmm. And of course then the electricity. So one of the wonderful things I was really just impressed with was the solar panels, right? How fantastic is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, you know, the electricity, and we had a backup generator. It was on and off. So we were really warm. We were very hot during all that treatment that we were doing. But it really made, again, you appreciate all these resources that we take for granted here.
Yeah,
You know, here
yeah.
you're cold, you put the heating on. If you're hot, you put your fan on. You know, charge your phone. You know, all these things, and it just really made me appreciate, because here we're needing to treat people. This is the necessity, right? Here we have things that may not be necessities, but we have access to it. So yeah, we did have some challenges, and when we first walked into that room, I'm not gonna lie, I thought this in itself is gonna take the whole day, and we had patients waiting, don't forget. So one absolute thing that humbled me was having a team. You know, every single person there was helpful, was useful, because everybody was on the same page and had the same ethos. And we all said right from the beginning, we'll get the department running in such a way that if your mom, your dad, your loved one was to enter that room, you would feel proud to provide them dental treatment. And everyone held that in their mind.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was really, really proud of how the setup went. And then it was all actions in
It was
place.
go, go,
yeah,
go.
It
I
was
mean,
go, go, go.
We were drenched with sweat, right? Everyone was.
Yeah.
But despite the fact that, you know, we saw a lot of patients, there was a lot of treatment that we did, mostly extractions, a lot of them very difficult, but still we made it, we managed it. Despite all of that, and the fact that the day was long, you know, we had really nice lunch, thankfully. You know, Devi looked after us so well, and we made sure that we were hydrated, and then we went back in the afternoon. But despite all of that, you know, it was so much fun. And at the end of the day, you'd be pretty drained, pretty tired, pretty knocked out. But there was something that we felt inside that made us think, you know what, I can't wait for tomorrow and do it all over again. Because I felt that, you know, thanks to the privilege that we've been blessed with and all of our resources that we have, we were able to make a difference for so many people. So many turned up, waiting months to be seen.
Between us, we saw just under 200. We did just under 600 dental extractions in the space of 5 days. So let's just talk about our lovely patients.
Yeah, I think, you know, firstly, what really struck me was the fact that many of them were seeing dentists for the first time in their whole life, right? Secondly, most of them had waited weeks to months to be seen, experiencing that pain, and we all know how bad and how debilitating dental toothache can be, but they'd waited and they had no choice but to wait. And even the fact that we were coming, it's not like they had something to look forward to for months before, because ours was pretty much an unplanned trip. You know, we didn't know we were going till 2 or 3 months before that. So it's not like they even had anything to look forward to. So, you know, and they were so patient. You know, they would come in the morning, queue up, you know, get registered, triage and everything, and just some of them would wait in the sun, you know, the baking hot sun, the baking hot African sun. Others would, you know, stay in the shade, but when they came into the department, they were all so patient. And, you know, we tried to see all of them, but obviously there was a few that we couldn't because we just ran out of time. But this is why we need help. Not they need help, but we need to get this word out so people know what exactly is going on out there and how we can build this into something that's sustainable. You know, this is the whole point of it. We can't keep going back and forth. We have to make it sustainable. So how did you find your experience with patients? Was there something that stood out, treating someone that really made you, really affected you?
I think when I even think about it, it brings me to tears. I think we all did, but I still remember there was a couple of patients, and I will never forget this one boy, 15-year-old, who presented with, the largest facial swelling I've ever seen. It extended not only to the areas of his face, not only to his neck, but also to his head. And he could only open his mouth by about this much.
Yeah.
You know, you and I have, worked in oral and maxillofacial departments in A&E. We've seen a lot of facial swellings due to dental infections, but this was something else. And he'd been suffering for this for 3 to 4 weeks, and it was just heartbreaking, just absolutely heartbreaking. And that will stay with me. That will stay with me, but it will stay with me in a way to always motivate me. When you're in a place like Sierra Leone and you're exhausted, you're working around the clock, it's hot, you can't think about yourself. And the moment you do think about yourself, you just look out and you see the queues of people waiting to see you, and you realize this is nothing in comparison to what they're going.
I mean, all the things that we complain about and we get upset over
Means nothing.
Yeah,
It absolutely, means nothing. And so, but there's a joy to it, right? Because at the end of the day, I still remember this day, and you said, let's just take 30 seconds. And you took us out of the room, and there's this beautiful spot in the hospital and lovely archway where you just can catch the sun setting. And at that moment, I still remember Rushika, yourself, and I, we stood there just for those 30 seconds it must have been, and just took that sight in, and it energized us.
Yeah.
And then we started, and then we carried on.
Yeah.
It was just, that whole experience, it will definitely stay with me. But like I said, it's patients like that who show so much resilience. Imagine going through that yourself, not being able to eat, not knowing what the next day will be like. If you can breathe, swallow, eat. These dental infections, and I think the perspective sometimes in the UK anyway, from my experience, and I've heard it before, it's just a tooth. It's not just a tooth. When you have an infection on your tooth, it can compromise your airway, and it can be life-threatening. And this is the condition of this boy. Okay?
And I think hearing all of this, I think many people will wonder why dental care is not prioritized in Sierra Leone. And I think we learned a little bit about what they've gone through for the last few years. We had the civil war that pretty much broke the country. They had Ebola to go through, which killed so many. Then we had COVID, which again was another massive hindrance. And unfortunately, the lack of funds that we learnt about when we visited Freetown, and we actually went to the Sierra Leone Dental Council, the Dental Medical Council, and we were able to meet the main man there, and he was so supportive and so nice to just talk to him. And the fact that almost felt like he had a bigger vision in mind as well, but he was all for service. It was all for community. It was all for everyone chipping in to make this country work. And again, I was pleasantly surprised, because sometimes we have this view about impoverished nations that everyone's out to get something. But it was just so nice to speak to him, and the fact that it made me realize that everyone is struggling, including the council, including all the healthcare sectors that actually want to make it better. Then we met the ex-head of the Sierra Leone Council, Dr. Kamara, and again, he was so supportive. Shyam and our team, yourself, all of you have worked so hard to get the curriculum together. And then we had this brief meeting with other dentists there in that room where we talked about what we wanted to go ahead with. But everyone was so pleasantly inspired when we had that meeting, and it just, it was empowering for everyone to be in that room. And I love that photo of all of us being there, and it was just so nice. And when you speak to people on Zoom or even on the phone, it's not the same until you actually meet them and you hear their own struggles of wanting to make dentistry work in Sierra Leone and the challenges that they have faced. And this is why I feel the whole world needs to come together dentists from all over the world, UK, USA, wherever. There's so many countries out there, but there's so many dentists out there who are not only capable of, helping in so many different ways, but there are also so many who unfortunately don't know about Better Lives Foundation, what we're doing. But here is the opportunity for them to learn and hopefully become a part of this team. And not just dentists. I think doctors, professionals, plumbers, electricians, I think every single profession can give so much to that place and make it, as Devi and Raj have the vision of making the first free dental teaching hospital, but also an overall general hospital, whereby we're able to provide free healthcare to the people of Yonibana.
Yeah. And what I was really shocked to find out that, population of about 8.5 million, there's a handful of dentists, 5 to 10 dentists maybe.
5 registered dentists in the whole country.
Isn't that just shocking?
Yeah.
It's just absolutely shocking. And that is why building a dental teaching hospital is going to be so important, because as you and I have experienced when we've been to other areas, impoverished areas, you go, you come back, and then what, right? If we create a sustainable education system where we are training the next batch of dental hygienists, therapists, dentists, dental nurses, dental technicians, that is the dream, right? That is the dream. Yeah, 3 of us were there doing the dental treatment, but it was only possible because of everybody we met along the journey.
Yeah, every single person who was involved had something to contribute in such a beautiful way. Yeah. But to summarize, for me, it was an adventure. It was an adventure in service. It was an adventure in community and coming together. And I feel that anyone who gets involved in this, they're just going to have such an amazing experience that's hopefully going to be a part of them forever.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a fantastic opportunity. These kind of opportunities don't just land on our laps every day. You need some sort of an infrastructure to make this happen. And Devi and Raj have created that infrastructure for it to grow.
Yeah.
And I think it's so nice. It's such a nice place to be. We're not starting from scratch. But what we want to do is help the people there, but also expand and make it sustainable.
Yeah. And I think you used a fantastic word, an opportunity, because with anything in life, you always learn something, right? I honestly feel I came back probably taking more from the experience than I gave. And even if you can't come out, we need help as a charity. There's so much opportunity to get involved. I've got a lot of work to do still, and let's keep going. So if my heartfelt I guess plea, my heartfelt communication to others who are interested in knowing about what Better Lives Foundation is about, what we want to do, my only thing I will ask for, that your heart is ready. That's all. Because that's what you need here. A heart full of love, compassion, everything else will follow. And that's what we've learned. There are days where you and I, we're tired. We've come back from work. We've had a long day. Even our weekends, we have so many things we are juggling, you and I. But there is a aha moment when you forget about your problems, your needs, your wants, and you just focus on somebody else, something bigger than you. There's actually a stress relief in it all. There's a feeling of contentment in it all, and I think that is what carries us. So yeah.
Onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards. Yeah.